Hey YouTube, it's Matt Spencer and you're watching RSG TV. I am at a new property. It's not a foreclosure, it's a just, I guess you could say, like an estate. It's a house that someone became older, became ill, and the house just sits and sits and sits, and this is what you get. Of course, what you're about to see doesn't happen overnight. Forgive me the wind noise. I didn't bring my camera today, just use my cell phone, so most likely it's gonna ring and I'm gonna have some cuts and stuff. But this is an off-market deal, closing today. The joy of a solid, or the benefits of a solid t-shirt from Walmart is I can keep a couple of them in my car. I can throw a sport coat on. So solid t-shirt from Walmart with a pair of jeans. I can have nice shoes with a sport coat, and boom, I'm like business casual. And for stuff we're about to go into, change out the boots and gloves and mask and whatever else we got to get. But buyers jump in my car sometimes, like, what's up with all the stuff in the back, like crawl suit and boots and masks? And it's like, you'll see. So check this out. This is a new renovation project. We're in Dunedin, right there near like First Team and Hall Chevy, right there on Western Branch Boulevard. This one's a mess as far as dumpster goes. It's probably gonna take a couple 30-yard dumpsters. But thanks for watching and come check it out. So we'll start on the outside. Typical, neglected house. And when I say neglected, if anyone ever related to somebody that watches these videos, I know life gets in the way and stuff happens. So when I say neglected, I don't mean that a negative term to the family or the people that own this house. It's just, it is what it is. It got a house, you got to stay on it. Preaching to the choir, my house, my gutters are a mess right now. My yard's a mess. I don't even go home half the time. But just a typical rundown on the outside. And here's where the fun starts. And this is why I keep boots and masks and latex gloves in the truck. Always going to be some hidden treasures in here though. So I kind of like this kind of stuff. Do I want to deal with moving it and throwing it in a dumpster? No. But there's definitely some cool stuff packed in here somewhere. Typically when you're buying like a foreclosure from a bank, you're not going to deal with this. Every once in a while you might, but the banks hire companies and pay them tons of money from out of state to come and do this kind of stuff. Again, this was an off-market deal, word of mouth. I think it was a killer price. $35,000. As far as inspections go, pretty solid. Typical stuff you'd see, but I mean, this is actually ideal because you can pay a guy, a couple young guys, a couple bucks an hour, buy them lunch, Pepsi, beer, whatever, at the end of the day, and this stuff deters so many people, but yet it's handled pretty easy. So I like finding stuff that's an absolute mess, because if it's frozen in time, like just for example, like grandma's house, we call them like a time capsule. It's just frozen in time. Everything's perfect. But at the end of the day, all that stuff, even though it's in good shape, it's from the 60s, 70s, or 50s. And the cost to renovate one of those houses is very similar to something like this, because at the end of the day, you're stripping them down to nothing and starting over. And this will deter people, whereas other, the old time capsules, buyers can see through it, whereas they a lot of times can't see through this. Yeah, it'll be a couple of dumpsters. Not sure if in the video you can see depth or not, but my head's about to touch the ceiling. So like height wise, that's doorknob height on a closet, to give you some idea of how much stuff is in this house. And you absolutely never know what you're going to find. Animals or people. Not like bodies, but warm bodies. I've had plenty of encounters showing property in, if you want to call it, good areas and bad areas, where I wouldn't say I've been attacked, but I've had homeless people kind of rush me, close the door behind me, lock me in, confront me. Most people know me, and I will use whatever I have on me to protect myself. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants my wallet or just want a material object, I'm just going to give it to them. But if I was here with somebody else and I got to protect us, I don't know. You hear stories all the time. Had a rat the size of a Labrador Retriever come after me in an attic one time. Of course, I hopped up in the attic with there was no power on. Hopped up in the attic with my flashlight. The jolt, like it was a cheap flashlight, so the jolt, I guess, loosened the batteries. Flashlight goes off. I hear something scurrying around and just going nuts and hissing. I finally get the light working. It's just this massive rat with a head the size of mine staring me in the face. And I just kind of did a swan dive down into the crawled like the access door and just landed in the living room, but I didn't get bit. Oh yeah, y'all can't quite see that toilet, but it's good. But this is a perfect flip. Totally non-financeable. Family just needs out from under it. And I'd take these all day. I think that's about all to show you on the inside. Can't wait to see what kind of cool stuff we find. Might be nothing. Might not be usable. Hate stepping on these old vinyls. Probably something decent in there. Amongst the mess, there are little things you can notice, like it's already got an upgraded 200 amp panel. That's like $1,700 saving right there. Getting this stuff out of the house, several $100s. I'll take the panel over the mess. Well, there you have it. This is episode 1 on RSG TV for Brandywine, which is in the Dunedin neighborhood of Western Branch. Some positive negatives. I'm not going to talk too much about neighborhoods as we're not supposed to. Dunedin is one of the easiest ways to get into Western Branch school districts and have a standalone house. If you just want Western Branch school districts for your kids, I think it's called Silverwood. There's some condos over off Taylor. I remember when I got into real estate, you could pick those up for 40 and 50, and they're only worth about 100. They've gone up. Next, I think best place for school districts and pricing and best bang for the buck would be behind the Home Depot. Can't remember what it's called right now. Meadow something maybe. Behind Home Depot on Taylor Road near the mall. Those are both going to be attached neighborhoods, so like condos and townhouses. And Dunedin gets you in Western Branch with a single family house and a yard. So I've always liked it, and a lot of the houses are very well built. Some of the neighborhoods that get a bad rap from locals, really, some agents, for example, Cavalier Manor in Portsmouth, that's the neighborhood near Camelot, so it's going to tie in Greenwood to Military Highway around Victory, kind of that chunk right there off between 64 and 264. Mostly older people. Definitely been a turnover in age groups, kind of the same as this house, where it's people having to move on, pass away, nursing home. Maybe they've moved in with their families to take care of them, and like a younger generation is coming in. And those houses, like what I've seen in Dunedin, are just very solid built brick ranches. And again, like favorite house to flip, late 60s, early 70s, brick ranch. You got a crawl space, you got an attic. Everything's easy to get to, and for the most part they're very well built, and if they're not, it's pretty easy to add some piers or girders or whatever you got to do. So thanks for watching. This is Matt Spencer. I didn't say it in the beginning, but I'll add a little subtitle, but I am an agent at Fathom Realty, licensed in Virginia, and this is a flip property we're getting ready to get started on in Dunedin. Thanks for watching.